How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, it's your boy TraderPrad. No camera today. It's not working for some reason. Here's a funny picture of how the camera's frozen right now. The webcam's absolutely frozen. So no camera today. Not sure what's going on with that bad boy. It acts up every now and then. I think the wire is probably faulty and I might have to get a new one, which is annoying. This would be the third one that I'm getting of the same thing. Maybe it's time to get a proper camera this time. One of those not what Sony A3 something, A3Is or some bullshit like that. So we might have to get a real camera next. Or actually, there's a way to use your phone as a webcam. I think I could do that. So I'll look into that going into the next streams, if there is a next stream. Right? No, I'm playing. I know Barky's saying that he feels very sad that the streams are coming to an end. I mean, look, it acts up on your days that your bloodshot eyes. Okay, dude, no, it's actually like frozen. The camera's frozen and it's just not working. So what do you want me to do? Anyways, Barky, I don't know how I feel about it, Barky. I'm still on the edge of if I'm going to continue streaming every night or am I, how I'm going to do it, because honestly I still have to record, and then if I record and edit, that's a little bit more time that I'll be putting into doing what I'm doing. And the whole idea of recording and putting it up is to save time, so I wouldn't really be saving time. But the second idea behind it also is to post it at a time where maybe I'd get a little bit more views and the channel grows a little bit better. But maybe the answer is, continue streaming, but also make content outside of the streaming that you could post up on YouTube, that also grows as a separate source of views and so on. So maybe that's the answer over there. instead of sitting and jerking off on the weekends. Maybe record some videos of my trading style and what I look for, some indicators, how I use them, and separate videos, and then post maybe one video a week of some sort, and then edit them slowly. So yeah, maybe you just need to do a little bit more work. That's all it is. And you know, taking live stream out of it probably doesn't make sense, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It would be great if you can continue daily live streaming. I mean, yeah, we'll see. Maybe once a week or twice or something could also make sense. So not sure about the route I'll go, but for now, you guys have me. You'll have me on my regular schedule, and everything but the Sunday schedule. I'm gonna take away the Sunday schedule. I'm gonna take one more day to my own mental health. I'm gonna take Sundays off unless I'm doing some podcast or something. I'm gonna take Sundays off, but Monday to Thursday, at least for the rest of this month, I'll be here, so you don't have to worry about that. TH asking if Miss V texted me back. Yes, she did text me back. I had a lot of sorry, what am I trying to say? She did text me back, and she said thank you. It was you know, thank you to you guys telling me that it was her birthday. I would have not known at all that it was her birthday without you guys, so appreciate it. Barkit, you're saying take a look at ELF, UPST, and ANET. UPST is the only one that's not on my watch list, so let's actually take a quick look at UPST. Oh wow, okay, UPST potentially looking to break out over here, and if it does, you know, there could be some sort of activity for us to play with, or a reject off that area. So we'll just put it in the watch list over here real quick. A little bit of a volume spike, not a real volume spike at all on this name, but a little bit of a volume spike. Maybe RVOL coming into play. Was there any news behind this one? 2 hours ago news came in. Okay, did they report? Oh damn, they reported. Okay, alright, yeah, so for 100% on the watch list, because this one just broke out. So 100% on the watch list. Thank you, Barky. Sadly, this didn't have UPST on the hell. You have almost all the good companies except UPST. I guess you ran out of space for UPST on earnings whispers. So yeah, for sure, we're gonna take a look at that one. Thank you for putting that one on the watch for me. And I guess since we're here already and no webcam, no point of, you know, going through the whole spiel of market this, market that. Why don't we just dive right in into the market, into the stocks that we want to talk about. We have stocks starting with, you know, we basically have a full list of names that reported today after hours. Most of them didn't really do much in the after hours, but still very interested to see how they reported. So let me actually boot up Benzinga for myself here. DraftKings, ANET, Square, Rivian, Unity, Trade Desk, Affirm. Sorry, I should say Block, not Square. I'm still looking at the webcam here as I'm talking to you guys because I think the webcam's on, but you know, it's not. Unity, Trade Desk, Affirm, FTNT, Pinterest, AirBNB, so full list of names. On top of that, UPST, we got a bunch of names that reported throughout the week already. That's also on the watch list. Moderna, ARM, Qualcomm, ELF, AppLovin, SMCI, Palantir, LUMN. So the watch list is big, it's extensive, and we're gonna obviously have a very, very busy day tomorrow, as we've been having a busy week so far. I mean, FOMC today came out. FOMC with the expected rate cut. No unexpected 50 beeps rate cut. That would have been fun, but nope, no fun on that side. But what was funny is listening to Jerome Powell saying to a question. He was asked a question if Donald Trump was to fire you, would you step down? And he just said no. What an absolute cold-blooded killer. Bro is ice. Bro got ice in his veins. Donald Trump, Jerome Powell, J. Powell got ice in his veins. What an absolute legend. This is the CEO of AirBNB. I know you said it looks like, what is it? You said it looks like Tom Brady, TH. I don't know about that, but hey, I'll give it to you. You know, my beautiful face could resemble Tom Brady. I think UPST is the next Carvana, says Bigly Down Under. Okay, I mean, I like that call out. Carvana did go absolutely bonkers. We got Barkit asking if you can squeeze in PLCE into the watch list. Okay, let's go take a look at Children's Place PLCE. Is it going crazy again? The volumes died down pretty drastically on this name. So you know, until volume really picks up, I wouldn't say there's any reason to keep an eye on it unless it did anything in the after hours. Yeah, so I don't see anything in the after hours either. So for me as a day trade, the stock really needs to pick up some volume, but you can see there's some levels. There's this bottom over here. We seem to still be respecting the high from that area. We have a little bit of a fight into $18 and then a barrier into $20. So a zone over here that you can potentially keep an eye on. Not much liquidity traded between $18 to $20. So there was this like almost a blank area over here from 18 to basically 20. Just a little bit of trading happening in that zone. So there are some levels, predefined levels. For the time being, the stock is actually above its 200-day moving average. That's surprising. So it looks like we're finding some support above the 200-day moving average on a high squeezing name. If technicals do come into play and someone wants to squeeze PLCE to the upside and run it up and burn some of the stops, if they're short sellers and their stops are up here, you know, the stock could easily burn through it and rally to the upside. If I remember correctly, PLCE did have a decent short flow. Let's go check out the short flow. Yeah, 50% short flow, anywhere from 18 to 64% short flow on a stock whose float's actually around 5 to 11 million float, depending on what source you're looking at for the information. So PLCE could very easily join that squeeze mode again. Just needs to start getting above some of these previous areas. Let's see if it can start holding above $15.30. Let's say $15.50. If it can hold above $15.50, there could be some upside move potential on PLCE, but it really needs to bring in volume first for me to even care about it as a day trade. So until then, not going on my watch list for tomorrow. Going to the top of the board, DraftKings reporting today after hours, taking a little bit of a nosedive on that report, sadly, and flushing back, moving right back up after that nosedive. So shout out to them. A little bit of a sell-off event right off the earnings report. Looks like a red earnings report. Wah, wah, wah. Let's go find out what the report looked like. This software over here is Benzinga, so sponsored by Benzinga. Thank you, Benzinga, for sponsoring this earnings segment. If you're interested in Benzinga, check that link below in the description. Not only do they help you out with news, I listen to the Squawk every day throughout my trading day. And also they have amazing scanners, charting platforms, overall graphs and heat maps, alerts that you can set up through the software, all through the news platform at the same time, and you know, scanning for your stocks that are within your setup and so on too. So amazing, almost all-in-one tool over here that you can take advantage of for a very cheap price. Check out the link below in the description. We're going to use them today to take a look at a couple of the earnings reports. DraftKings up 39% year to year on the revenue side. Okay, but they missed estimates slightly. The company said revenue growth came in strong, customer engagement. I mean, yeah, they're taking all my goddamn money, that's for sure. The acquisition of new customers, the launch in new territories, and the impact of the acquisition of the jackpot, which closed in May. Okay, the company reported a loss of 17 cents per share, which beat the street consensus estimates of a loss of 42 cents per share. That is great. So why did we actually flush the way we did today? Monthly unique players were at 3.6 million, up 55% year to year. Excluding the impact of the jackpot or whatever, monthly unique players would have been up 27. Okay, so because of the some company, I'm guessing that's the company that they bought, Because of that, the monthly users actually went up by quite a bit. But if it wasn't for that buying, the acquisition, the monthly users would have only been up 27, which is still great if you ask me. But maybe that's what caused a little bit of a problem over there. The average revenue per monthly active user, monthly unique player, sorry, it was $103. Down 10% year over year. So people are betting less as they're losing more and more money. They're betting less and less and less, but they are still getting more players out there. The lower revenue per player was due to the jackpot. Okay, excluding the jackpot acquisition, the average revenue per player was 8% higher. Never mind, people are actually losing more money year to year. Wow, what's going on? DraftKings delivered strong performance in the third quarter with the return of NFL and college football. DraftKings was live for mobile sports betting in 25 states in Washington, D.C., representing 49% of the U.S. population in the third quarter. The company also said it's with iGaming in 5 states and live with sportsbooks and iGaming in Ontario, Canada. Yes, they are. What's next? The company lowered its fiscal 2024 revenue. So here's part of the reason why looks like the stock actually flushed a little bit down. The company lowered its fiscal year 2024 guidance from the range of 5 billion to 5.5 billion. A new range is now 4.85 to 4.95. Okay, a little bit of a drop over there due to customer-friendly sport outcome in the fourth quarter. What does that even mean? Okay, which comes with the NFL season having several weeks of favorable outcomes for bettors. All right, analysts expects the company to report. Ooh, they're actually expecting to lose a little bit of money in the fourth quarter because a lot of the games that are setting up might just give them favorable outcomes. That's funny. I like it. Analysts expects the company to report revenue 5.14 for the full fiscal year according to the data from Benzinga Pro. The company also revised its 2024 adjusted guidance range of EBITDA for 340 to 420 to a new range of 240 to 280. Ooh, big drop over there. DraftKings introduced its fiscal 2025 guidance for the first time with a range of 6.2 billion to 6.6 billion expected. Quite a bit of a beat over there. All right, anyways, the company also said expected a bit of 900 million to 1 billion, reaffirming guidance from August. So still looking good for the whole year. However, the quarters might be taking a little bit of a hit. With major sports converging on the calendar, blah, 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 blah. The company said 2024 and 2025 guidance includes all existing mobile sports betting and iGaming markets and jackpot, but does not include any pending state launches. So it could be better as more states adopt iGaming and you know, mobile sports betting and get casinos and so on. And other states, you know, a lot of states still don't allow DraftKings, which is crazy. And once they do, DraftKings, with the name and popularity and the amount of money that they have that they could spend and deploy to take the market share, they'll do so very easily. So Missouri legalized sports betting on election day 2024. Wow, just now. Stock went down at 5% at the time of the report, but we did get a little bit of a bounce off of that. Nice bounce off the report at the end. Looks like the guidance is the part of the reason why the stock took a beating. Now, they still don't make money, so you're not going to get a PE for them, but the forward PE should look probably somewhat in the red. This was because I was talking to Dieter last night about a bunch of stuff, so that map stayed up still. That's funny. DraftKings, so forward PE is 54. I'd say, you know, I'd consider that cheap for DraftKings if they continue to keep growing, which the mode that they are right now. I mean, this stock could have a Palantir type moment that it's having right now and really get into the expensive PE ratios, like, you know, 200, 300 PE ratios. So DraftKings could be something to keep an eye on going into the future. Looks like they are doing much better than before. They're losing a lot less money than previously, and once they start making money quarter to quarter, once you have 4 quarters of green, then you know, all things start looking much better, and investors will start dumping their money into this position, into this company. Oh, I don't know why I said position. I don't have any position on DraftKings at all, but into this company. So DraftKings has a day trade. However, if we're just ignoring all the other nonsense that I just said, if we're just looking at the day trade for me looks pretty simple. Looks like right in the after hours, we are holding under today's low, or sorry, yesterday's low, under today's low also. So you can see how we had a double pop over here on the 5-minute chart into $38. Let me just zoom in a little bit more because of the colors and everything, you might not be able to really see the chart. Right here, the double top into $38 in the after hours. Looks like a active seller. We were actually able to prop the position under fairly well below what is this, Wednesday's low, fairly low below yesterday's low and last week's high. So some sort of extra confluence to that level coming into play. As long as we keep failing under 38, under 37, maybe there's a downside move over here on DraftKings to get flushed back below the earnings anchored VWAP and then really push back to the downside for us to play with some shorts. But if the stock is able to hold above this 37, 38, then potentially not even looking short on this name, but it will be hard to get bullish. Yeah, they're growing 39% year to year on the revenue side, but the guidance for the next quarter not looking too good. So this could just be one of those names that you just don't really care about tomorrow if it's just stuck in the, let's say, today's ranges. If it's just stuck in these ranges over here, I'm potentially not gonna really care about DraftKings. I want to see it get above $40, or I want to see it stay below 37 so I can get short on the name and then have a ride into maybe 35, maybe 33. But you know, it's going to be such a second-hand priority of a name tomorrow based on the report and based on how it moved. And we're gonna actually have a lot of names like that because of how they moved today in the after hours. But hopefully tomorrow pre-market, music's a little loud. All right, I'll drop it down. Hopefully that's better. But you know, hopefully some of these stocks bring in more volume and a little bit more volatility in the pre-market, and then we can have some fun with it. Looks like that's where they reported earnings. I'm just gonna mark, okay, fine, I'll just put it over there because that is where most of the volume started coming in. But if we did throw it over here, you know what, I'll go to the 1-minute chart. All right, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. ANET computer parts, computer peripherals company. On an absolute heater for you know, God knows how long, but a little bit of a back and forth on this name too. First we pop up and then the report gets digested by the market and then we get flushed right back to the downside. So a little bit of a back and forth. Expensive name, right? Expensive name, $400. So it's going to be spready, it's going to be illiquid, so be prepared for that. $10 ATR. If you want to play a $10 ATR name that's almost in the same prices but has a lot better liquidity, its name is Tesla. So Tesla almost into $300 today. You know, it trades 100 million shares on the day. Way better liquidity than ANET. So if you really wanted to trade, and Tesla has like what, a $16 ATR. Let me quickly glance over. Sorry, it's a $12.90 ATR on Tesla compared to ANET, which is a $10 ATR. Now, granted, you know, it's an earnings day, so maybe we get more than 3 million shares on this position. The average 30-day volume is actually 1.5, so maybe we get around 3 to 4 million shares on this position tomorrow, and the range could be anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe $17 is what I would expect the high to low range to be. So there could be some volatility possibility there could be some opportunities for you to get long or short depending on the patterns, but based on the after hour move over here, I'm not really too excited. There's some levels that I would like the stock to really get under for me to start you know, having some fun with it. As Barkit said, it went down to 390 and you caught the dip there. Awesome, let's go. Catching the dip at 390. Looks like the stock moved back to 410. So yeah, I would need it to get away from today's range for me to really be interested, but we did have a 2 days back-to-back up moves all the way into all-time high here, right? So let's see if this report is good to allow the stock to potentially go back up in pre-market and then make another run for an all-time high, or is this you know, look for shorts day tomorrow on ANET. Reported 2.4 cents per share, which beat estimates of 2.08. This is a 31.15% increase of earnings of 1.83 per share from same period last year. Revenue of 1.81 billion, which beat analyst consensus estimates of 1.74. This is a 20% increase from same period last year. Looking good, looking good. Revenue for the fourth quarter expected to be between 1.85 to 1.9. Margins of between 63 to 64. Operating margins approximately 44%. All things looking good, looking good. Approved for a 4-for-1 forward stock split. 4-for-1 stock split also approved by the board members. Shares are, however, after that trading lower. I think all of this combined over here is more than enough to potentially look for a dip buy opportunity. So as our friend Barky, shout out to Barky, who actually caught that dip buy on ANET at 390 or so. Looks like anywhere from 380. Well, that's what's today's that low is 385. So anywhere from 385 to 390. If you get a chance to buy that dip and the stock actually holds above it, there might be another opportunity to get long. But I'm expecting in the pre-market we might actually see ANET rallying back up easily, going back into today's high, or even going right back into the pre-market. Sorry, I should say after hours, going right back into the after hour highs over here that it just created off the earnings report. I think that report is fairly bullish enough. They're growing year to year. They have good margins. They're gonna have a stock split over here coming into play also, so people might want to buy going into that stock split. Yeah, it's not like the 10-to-1 stock split or anything crazy, but ANET will now be a much cheaper name and way more liquidity, hopefully, to trade as a day trade also. But that's not gonna happen right off the bat tomorrow. Not sure what the date is for the stock split, but that's cool. That's awesome. ANET obviously on watch potentially for another dip buy opportunity, but looks like we're gonna just have to watch the stock in the pre-market and see what type of level setup in the pre-market itself for us to you know, then guesstimate a good play on this one. Square, another name that did absolute zilch in the after hours. Oh, never mind. I actually did a little bit of a movement, but looks like that move got, you know, nullified right back to the upside. December 4th for the split, says Barkit. Thank you, Barkit. Appreciate that. Square, or should I say block? Sorry, block. Big move to the downside, but looks like right around last month's low areas of $64. Buyers came in, $64, $65 buyers came in and ran it right back into today's low, right back into $75 where we kind of closed into. No, $73. So yesterday's low. So again, Wednesday's low coming into play, where we're now finding some barriers. Let's see how bad the report was to give that big of a reactionary move, or was that just someone fat fingered, and then when the earnings report actually came out, looks like much later, the move got corrected, right? So that could very easily be the story too. Looks like the report came out at 420. Okay, at 420, and the move then got corrected. But if you're including the big move down first for the earnings anchored VWAP, then you might have a little bit of a different number based on what you're trying to look for, right? Based on what you're trying to look for. Let's go to Benzinga again to take a look at the earnings report for Square. Square. Is that the report? Is that the report? I know you got a better report for me. Come on. Ooh. Oh, that's at 9 a.m. Okay, that's not the report. Okay, I guess this is all we're getting. 88 cents per share, which beat the estimates of 87 cents per share, barely. Company sales coming in at 5.976 billion, which beat the estimates by which missed the estimates of 6.24, so they missed estimates. However, they did grow by 6.39% from same period last year. Last year, same period was 5.617. They reported 5.976. Expected was 6.244. Here's a report that we were looking for. Thank you. So Square generated a profit of up 16% year over year, and Cash App revenue came in up 21% year over year. They grew by how much again? I forgot what the number was, but they did grow by some, or 6.39. There we go. That's the percent that they grew year over year. We outperformed our gross profit, blah blah blah, but our gross profit grew by 19%. I like that part. Cash App continued to see strong performance with 21% growth. There was strong performance across Cash App, Borrow, and our Buy Now, Pay Later platform. Square gross profit grew by 16%. Now they're just, just saying the same thing again and again and again. Any outlook for this company? I'm guessing that's what it is. Sees Q4 adjusted EBITDA at 725 million. Sees full year 2024 EBITDA at $2.9 billion. At the report, sadly, however, it got flushed and then bought right back up. From what I'm seeing, they are growing, but they missed on revenue by quite a bit, right? Revenue 6.244. They reported 5.976. So slight miss on the revenue over there, but still growing on the year-to-year side. So in my opinion, I think this initial move down was an overreactionary sell-off, and that overreactionary sell-off got bought right back up. Will be interesting to see what areas come into play tomorrow for a dip buy. But right now we have what seems to be a very easy barrier. Yesterday's low of $74. That seems to be a pretty easy barrier. If the stock can manage to get above 74 tomorrow, which is obviously this after hour high here, potentially could open up some sort of a hidden long play right back into today's high being $78. So the stock's ATR is $2. You can potentially get a long from 74 into 78. That's a $4 ATR move, 2 times the ATR of the stock's normal average move. So if that is a hidden play, I'll be obviously watching for it. But right now, as it stands, looks like 74 is a little bit of a barrier. The report wasn't that great, right? Slight miss on revenue, but still growing on each aspect. The Cash App aspect, the block aspect, cryptocurrencies are mooning at the moment. Bitcoin at all-time high, and the whole idea of Square changing its name to Block is to be involved in the cryptocurrency world. So that should facilitate some sentiment, some juice to this name to the upside also. So it looks like, I actually think Square hasn't actually made a sympathy move off of Bitcoin the way Coinbase and MSTR and all of them have. So Square might be one of the laggard ones in that realm if you think about it. But hey, I should call it blockchain block. So looking to see how the 74 area comes into play tomorrow. I'm going to put this actually as an inflection area, not as a resistance, because I want to see if this level comes into play in the pre-market or off the open. Obviously, earnings anchored VWAP will be a level to keep an eye on, also on SQ. Rivian. If I remember correctly, the stock did absolutely nothing in the after hours. After reporting after hours over here, a little flush to begin with, and then a correction right after that to the north side, and basically holding above today's high, above $10.24. And if you look at Rivian's range, I mean, I'm not really expecting Rivian to get above 11 and stay above 11. If you couldn't do that off the earnings report, then I'm not really expecting you to do that tomorrow. So if Rivian does manage to go to 11 and have some sort of a resistance and a failure to stay above 11, maybe I'll look for a short back into a gap close to 1050, 1040. That's going to be an easy 40 cents for risking maybe 5 cents if you catch the reverse at the right time and the right way. So it'll be a beautiful opportunity if it sets up the way I'm imagining it to. But if it doesn't set up that way, I'm almost not interested to trade the stock tomorrow at all. So I'm going to color the stock at a way lower priority for tomorrow. I needed to really wake up, become a beast, roar, get above 11 and stay above 11. Then we could have some real fun on this position as you know, maybe some shorts are getting squozed, some volume pouring back into this absolute garbage company, and we can now start riding back up. Decent short flow to also talk about short squeeze. So let's see these shorts getting squoze. Here's another company that did absolutely nothing. Another back and forth. Seems to be the story of the day today on earnings. A lot of these names reporting and you know, just going back and forth. So at this point, let me just delete all my drawings, go back into the 5-minute chart, put in the earnings anchored VWAP right there. And then go back to the daily chart, and now we're looking for a range right there and into the lows here. So I don't care what the stock does in the middle of the range. If we can actually get into the upside and start holding above it, maybe a long. If we're going into the upside and failing up here, maybe a short. If we go down here and start holding, potentially a long. If we go down here and fail, potentially a short. So all kinds of opportunities on the edges. I'm not finding any opportunity in the middle, so I don't really care to see what happens. So I'm just going to put in the levels of interest for me real quick, which is $19.82. I'm going to just say $20. Either the stock is at $20 or it's at $23.50/23.40 for me to even care about it. Otherwise, no trades for me on Unity tomorrow. And this is how we eliminate names from our watch list. Potential names, if they get to our prices. If they don't go to our prices, we eliminate names from the watch list because they're just waste of time, waste of you know, space on your computer screen when you're trading tomorrow anyways. So no point in having that up. At the moment, I have DraftKings and ANET and Square as high priority, Rivian and Unity as low priority. Trade Desk, I would say this one's a high priority name. So Trade Desk reporting earnings today after hours. Today, actually, intraday, the stock went up 6.19%, almost like somebody knew something. They were pretending like they knew how the report was gonna come out, and they were buying up as many shares as they can and just pressing the buy button. So yesterday, the stock broke out. Today it broke out even more and rallied all the way to a new all-time high of $132.65. However, after reporting earnings, a big slam down on the stock. So whoever bought the stock for the last few days is completely underwater. And if you think those people are going to continue holding this position as a long after that big sell-off, I would say that's a crazy expectation. A lot of people who have paper hands right now are going to sell off. Maybe the big boys who don't really care and can bear the pain to have the stock going against them for a little while, they don't really care. But any of the small accounts, margin called, you're getting blown out right now if you were looking for this as a swing trade. If you are investing and you just bought the all-time high breakout going into the earnings call, you know, going into the earnings report, and you just YOLO Wall Street bet, absolute idiot game mode the stock, you're also in pain right now, and you're looking to potentially dump the stock if it doesn't get back above 122.60. If the stock actually gets back up to 122.60, 123 tomorrow, which is actually Wednesday's low, I'm expecting a lot of people taking profits and not profits, right, but taking exits and being, oh, thank God I get to take a much lower hit than I previously imagined. So this stock, very high priority tomorrow, very, very high priority. Watch how this one behaves, either on the pop into you can see how that pop goes right into yesterday's high also, anywhere from 125 to 122.50, 123 or so. So I'm just gonna draw a box in this after hours zone that I'm interested in right there. So watching basically Wednesday's high to Wednesday's low. Right there. 125 to 122 dollars, looking to see if some selling opportunity pops into that area. If the stock actually holds above 125, then there's no more shorts in my opinion. Looks like the report was just absolutely oversold for no reason, and then the buyers who are buying the last few days, they have enough buying power to continue buying this name today again and absolutely rally it higher. Let's take a quick glance at the earnings report. Reported 41 cents per share, beating estimates of 39 cents. Reported 628.000 million, okay, which beat the analyst estimates of 619. Booyaka, booyaka, 619.849 million, which is a 27.31% increase of sales of 493.266 million from same period last year. 628.000 million is crazy. How the hell did you get that number exactly on the dot like that? That's wild. Q4 revenue 756 million versus 749 million estimates. Q4 revenue 756 million plus. Okay. Trading lower despite better than expected report. Trade desk is tumbling. Why is it tumbling? Let's go take a look at this better report instead. I should have just read this one. What the hell? As we enter our busiest time of the year, we look ahead to 2025. We have never been in a better position to capture the great share of 1 trillion advertising TAM, okay? The company said it repurchased 54 million of its common stock in the quarter. It has had bought 521. It has 521 remaining on its buyback as of September 30th. The company ended the quarter with 1.2 billion in the cash. Guidance 756 versus 749. We already saw that. Full year. Fourth quarter adjusted EBITDA coming in at 363 million. Many of our largest media companies are now working with us to help clients capture the full value of CTV advertising via programmatic. We are similarly excited about the momentum in the retail media and the pace of the adaptation by our clients. Okay. However, the shares did drop drastically, more than 10% in the after hours to $119. So big move down in trade desk over here at the end of the day, obviously. Even after reporting, I guess, a fairly decent good report, right? 27% increase year over year. Now the question is the stock going to hold above these after hour lows? Are we going to continually find buying above the after hour lows? You have last week's low right here. You have the after hour low right there, potentially two levels to keep an eye on. Earnings anchored view up right into that little boxy area that I just mentioned not too long ago. So that's another potential area to keep an eye on. So if we just go back and forth in this range, which is very potential, it is very possible the stock just goes back and forth in this range the whole day tomorrow, as the buyers are not able to really counteract the seller who pushed the stock down today. But if the seller was simply a profit taker and a panic profit taker, and the buyers who bought the last few days, who allowed the stock to break out into all-time high, if they want to rally up this position, right back up to the north side, then it is very easily possible for them to hold it right back above 125 in my opinion, at which point the long is right back on, and then you can just maybe potentially just play the long instead, as the stock could, you know, really blast off tomorrow to go back into today's high and then rally. It'll be insane to see the stock turn a negative 10% down move after hour into a positive 10, positive 20% move tomorrow to the upside. Anything is possible with this market right now. Stocks are going absolutely batshit wild. Let's go to Affirm. Buy now, pay later king. Nothing happening in the after hours for this name. Looks like a lot of back and forth. If you look at what time, looks like the earnings report came out at. Looks like the report possibly came out fairly late, so a lot of back and forth until the report came out, and then when the report came out, it just did a more noisy back and forth move. But yeah, I guess you're just watching to see how the stock reacts tomorrow pre-market. Nothing really to talk about in the after hour. Usually when a reaction like that happens, I'm very turned off for the stock. I don't really care about what it does. So unless the stock pushes into, what is the line that we just threw in over there? What is that line? 52.50. Unless it pushes into 52.50 and sets up for some sort of a play, maybe I don't really care about what the stock does. It could, you know, dip back down into $45. Maybe that's an opportunity over there to look long. And if it gets below 45, maybe there's is that 45 or 46? What did I just mark up? 46. So if it gets below 46, potentially an opportunity to look for a bigger short to the downside. But yeah, it's a very low priority name for me right now. Just looking at a quick glance on the stock based on how it reacted in the after hours. I need to see a bigger reaction in the pre-market, better volume and a bigger reaction in the pre-market for me to care about Affirm. So I'm gonna put that one as a low priority. Let's go to FTNT. FTNT at all-time high right before its earnings report that came out today. Did blast through after the report. Looks like the report came out. We did manage to blast through, but then an immediate fail of that all-time high breakout and a move right back down on FTNT. So it looks like that could be seen as a simple all-time high breakout fail and potentially looking for shorts. What's going on with my voice here? Potentially seeing that 8888 Lucky China, potentially seeing that as a short opportunity on any pops back into this $84 area. If the stock is holding above 84, it's very simple, under over 84 for me. I don't even need to read the earnings report, because sometimes, you know, reading the earnings report will just add a bias into you. Either the stock holds above $84 over here, which is the previous all-time high. If it does, I think we get an easy chance right back into the after hour high of $88.88. But if it doesn't hold above 84, then you can forget the after hour move over there. It's simply doing what it just did, potentially moving back into today's low. The stock has an ATR of about $2, so you can expect to move back into $82 or $81.50, which is today's low, coming into play on Fortnite as a target. Fortnite. We like Fortnite. Next stock, Pinterest reporting earnings today after hours also. Let's go see how they moved. Ooh, good move on Pinterest to the downside on what seems to be on a decent earnings report. What happened, Pinterest? Let's just mark that after hour low real quick, and looks like we're right here. So Pinterest obviously taking a little bit of a beating. Let's move this line back down here, or here instead. Yeah, let's move that line back down there. Add a new one down here, and those are the two most latest relevant areas to the downside that I'm kind of interested in. $27 and $28. So Pinterest obviously marking that $28 just now on the way down. $28.33, $28.25 is actually that low marker from the after hours, but we're just gonna chalk it up and say 28. As long as the stock stays above 28 and 27, I think you can potentially continue to look for a long on dips over here on this name. But with how the stock reacted, looks like the report wasn't that good. So any pops potentially some short opportunities on pops too. Right now we're struggling around 30.50. We got last month's low, which was also last week's low, right into 31.50. So potentially a pop into 31.50 and a reject from there for a move back into $30, for a move back into $29. But I would much rather have to make a play around 28. You know, the stock falls into 28 and then bounces off of 28 or something. That could be a way better opportunity to look long, because we've seen how the stock has previously, according to history, found buying off of these levels. Let's go take a quick glance at the report to see if the bias we want to have on this stock is in the right direction or not. Reporting 898 million, estimates of 896, a beat very slightly. Earnings per share is what, 4 cents per share, missing 7 cents per share estimates. Revenue up 18% year over year. Pinterest active users increased 11%. I call bullshit. Average revenue per user $1.7 globally and 7.31 in the US and Canada. That's crazy. Who's paying this stupid company? Our AI investments are driving, yeah, bullshit, whatever. Advertisers are increasingly relying on Pinterest to engage. Yeah, okay, whatever, dude. I'm not buying any of these statements. That's nonsense. Whatever. I have my personal bias, or I have my personal bias against companies and softwares, and I'm allowed to have my own personal bias. I've never used Pinterest, never seen a use for Pinterest, never seen a point of Pinterest, but I'm also not a yoga mom. I'm also not a yoga mom, so probably why I don't see a point in investing in Pinterest, or I don't see a point in ever owning Pinterest as a stock. But as a day trade, if they're giving you opportunities, you know, I don't care. I'm more than happy to put my bias aside and look for the trade. So it looks like even after reporting decently well on the report, Pinterest pushed down about 12%. Pinterest expects fourth quarter revenue to be in the range of 1.125 to 1.145 versus 1.14, so within range. And expects fourth quarter revenue range to be in 495 to 510. So that is quite a bit of a miss over there. This quarter they reported 898. They're gonna expect next quarter to be between 495 to 510. That doesn't look too good. So quarter to quarter is dropping quite a bit. So potentially that is causing Pinterest to take a little bit of a beating. Now keep in mind, I'm not an analyst. I'm just a day trader. Only thing that I care about is price action. How does the stock trade at specific levels? Where is the volume coming in? And how does the nature of that volume behave? So I'm just analyzing technical levels and technical setups constantly to look for a trade. And for me, I see the best EV, the best expected value is if I see a dip buy opportunity into 28 or $27. If the stock is clearly weak below 28, potentially a short below 28 into 27, where I can then flip long from 27 back into 28, potentially even to $29 to keep an eye on. Note, stock's ATR is 87 cents. The stock's ATR is 87 cents or 86 cents. So more than $2 is not expected as a day's high to day low range on Pinterest tomorrow. AirBNB, big move initially to the upside, and then immediate shutdown on that move, complete shutdown on that move, and a reject after hitting $167 on AirBNB. So what really happened with our last name of earnings that reported today after hours? Let's go pull in AirBNB on Benzinga. Last name that we're gonna have to read into. So let's go take a look at this one. AirBNB revenue 3.70 billion, missing estimates 3.72, one red error. Third quarter earnings 3.13, missing estimates of 2.16, another red mark right there. Revenue up 10% year over year, so one green, two red. Keep the count, chat. One green, two red. Gross booking value 20.1 billion, up 10% year over year. Two green, two red. Nights and experiences booking came in at 12.8 million. Three green, two red. Airbnb said it generated 1.1 billion of free cash flow during the quarter. The company ended the quarter with 11.3 billion in cash. Holy shit. Okay. cash equivalents and short-term investments and restricted cash. Airbnb had a strong Q3. Nights and experiences booked accelerated throughout the quarter and into Q4, despite a softer start due to short bookings late times compared to 2023. The company said in a letter to shareholders, building a robust momentum in September, we are off to a great start in fourth quarter 2024. We are seeing strong demand in Q4 2024 across core and expansion markets for both long and short-term lead times. Airbnb expects fourth quarter revenue to be in the range of 2.93 to 2.44. Company expects nights and experiences booked in the fourth quarter to be in the higher than in the third quarter. Okay, so growth in the nights and bookings. Growth in revenue? No, slight decline. A lot of decline in quarter-over-quarter revenue. That doesn't look too good. Airbnb anticipates full year 2024 adjusted EBITDA margin of approximately 35.5%. The company expects full year cash-free margin to be several points above the adjusted EBITDA margins. Airbnb executives will hold a call at 4:30, and at the time of the report, stock ended looks like around 2.08% after its wild move back and forth. I guess it ended a little bit lower than 2.5. It ended about 4% down after the whole move back and forth compared to today's close. So Airbnb, I'm seeing the revenue quarter to quarter is dropping drastically, right? They're expecting to only make 2.39 to 2.4, where they reported 3.7, and on top of that, they missed the estimate for this quarter that they just reported, and they missed the estimate for the EPS also. So revenue estimate missed, EPS estimate missed, reporting lower guidance for the next quarter than the current quarter, and possibly way much lower also year to year too. We don't know. We're gonna check it out. Not looking too good over there for Airbnb. Potentially some selling action coming into play. You already saw how the after hour move reacted. The stock big gap up. Maybe I shouldn't say gap up. It actually broke through yesterday's high today and then ran up. So I shouldn't really say gap up. The stock found momentum out of nowhere before earnings report today. Found a little bit more momentum right before the earnings report, and all that momentum got absolutely wiped out, and we're right back into today's low, right back into yesterday's low. So very similar pattern to Trade Desk, but this stock actually has a little bit of a weakness. So very similar setup to Trade Desk. Potentially the stock could find some bearish selling over here, weakness right off the 200-day moving average also, and potentially, you know, getting hammered back down. I could see some short setup setting into play if we can get back under let's say Wednesday's low of 140 and stay under 140. I think we're hanging around right around 140 in the after hours over here on Airbnb. In pre-market, I wouldn't be surprised if we open below 140 and the stock actually has to pull back and reject 140 on a pullback. So that could potentially be set up as an opportunity. Right now I'm putting 140 as a support, but if it actually opens below 140, I'm gonna have to put 140 as the resistance and look for a pop into 140 or anywhere close to 140. Look for an opportunity to get short into that area and ride this name back down. Looks like it's fairly weak over here. ARM reported today. Monster rally on ARM after actually a little bit of a sell-off. So it corrected most of its move. I guess you could say shout out to Nvidia, shout out to ARM itself. They didn't report too bad if I remember correctly. I completely forgot how they reported yesterday, I'll be honest with you. Even though I read the report for you guys out loud, I completely forgot how they reported, but if I remember correctly, they were growing very slightly. What was it, like 5% year to year? Very slight growth on the revenue aspect, but it looks like the market actually enjoyed the report enough, or maybe it was the fact that Nvidia is getting added to the Dow Jones Industrial, and Nvidia almost went to $150 today. So that's going to be an important level tomorrow, obviously. Nvidia 150, keep an eye on that one. Did not manage to go close to that, but we got fairly close to that on Nvidia, and I'm guessing that's what helped most of these semiconductor names, SMCI, ARM, AMD, all of them having a beautiful run back up north at the moment. Micron giving you a W pattern twice, once twice. So you're getting a W on top of a W. So maybe we get another W pattern coming in next over here after if it breaks out. So Micron potentially, you know, could be added to the watch list over here real quick. Let me just do that. Micron 115 potentially giving us an opportunity of play. But we need volume coming into that name on that breakout. We need volume on the name as it breaks out. If it doesn't have volume, almost not interested. It could potentially give you a good short. It could give you a short on the failure to stay above 115 and a pullback all the way back down to $99 as it is now ranging over here. How are things reacting to the big man winning with the election in Canada? I mean, I don't really give a shit. I'm a Canadian. I don't give a shit about who wins, but I do care about what happens to the market. So all I care is the glorious market, and the market has been loving it. So that's the only thing that matters for myself. How are Canadians reacting to it? I mean, I honestly don't know. That's a very good question. That's a question to the people who actually, you know, care. I don't. I'm not trying to say that in a dickish way, but I'm just saying, like, you know, I don't know how many people in Canada really care, because people also are now in the in anti-Trudeau mindset, right? They want to see Trudeau gone, so maybe they care about that instead more than Trump. But yeah, geopolitical news, whatever happens in USA does impact Canada at the same time. Hopefully we get rid of our guy too, but if I say that too loud, you know, they'll just take away my stream and my YouTube account for all I know. So I gotta be careful with my opinions over there when it comes to my government. I gotta be careful with my opinions over here when it comes to my government. MU potentially something to keep an eye on. ARM, yeah, it popped today. 5% growth is not exciting for me, so I'm not really looking to trade this tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Qualcomm, a big green to red day on Qualcomm. Not sure what happened over there. I tried a small long at 180 or so when it was holding this 180 area. Maybe not there. What was it? Right over here, right off the open when it was holding 180 slightly. I tried a long, it failed, and I walked away from it. And looks like I made the right decision because the stock got absolutely hammered to the downside today. What a big move. Red to green on what was what seemed like a great report, if you ask me, right? Had a pretty decent report. The numbers were great. Everything looked good, and you know, we were kind of in a breakout pattern. Also, we broke out and then a complete green to red move. So I was shocked a little bit watching to see how today's low reacts on this name. If Qualcomm manages to stay above today's low, or even reclaim today's VWAP and stay above today's VWAP, maybe there's a long there. But this is a pretty indicative candle, I would say, because especially after the way Nvidia moved today and all other semiconductors had a pretty decent pop along with Nvidia, but here's Qualcomm that had a completely different reaction. So I'm not really sure how to read this one when it comes to this. I'm not expecting the stock to have a bigger candle than today. So potentially today's low and today's high very much in play tomorrow, and today's VWAP very much in play tomorrow. So keep an eye out for those levels. Elf Beauty. So reversal looks to be in full motion at the moment. We did dip into the after hours lows and actually open right into the after hour lows of 110 and a beautiful rally on Elf Beauty. Good volume spike also. 9 million shares traded on the day compared to a 3 million average. So looks like the reversal is in full motion on Elf Beauty. We actually went all the way back into the after hour high. That's amazing. This is why I mark some of these levels for myself. So yeah, watch this name, obviously. See how it trades tomorrow. Looks like the pre-market high is being respected in the after hours after we kind of have a pretty clean pullback on this position. So somewhere into last week's high right here, where the after hours high, the pre-market high also happens to be. So last week's high is, what is that, 114.61? Let's just say 115. So 115 on Elf Beauty. If it stays above 115 to 114.50, I think there's still a long opportunity that you can potentially try to catch over here tomorrow as a day trade. But if it gets below 115, 114.50, I'd stay away looking for a long on this one, because it could just chop around within today's range. At that point, I'm not too interested. I want to see it hold 115 at the very least, so it could have a move back into maybe 125, which was today's high, and then maybe the next few days, next week I should say, it could start having that real reversal move above 125 into the 100-day move, sorry, the 200-day moving average into $163 over the span of multiple weeks and so on. So we'll see what happens. In Quebec, every left is crying that the big man winning. It's funny to see. It's like the end of the world for them. Isn't that happening in America though? That's something happening in America too, but I guess every leftist everywhere is like crying on TikTok, on Instagram. How could you vote for him? We're gonna get ruined. We're gonna lose our... People are going insane. The lefties are going absolute batshit crazy. It's wild, man. People get so consumed by this. I guess it makes sense because, you know, it is a big event. You know, life changes as policies changes and so on. So it does matter. But people get way too consumed by this. Like, you're crying that bad? Like, oh my god. Take it easy, man. It's just 4 years. You know how fast 4 years go? 4 years don't matter. It just comes and goes like that. What the hell? Anyways, AppLovin, another name that started off a big rally in the after hours yesterday, continued the rally in the pre-market, and continued the rally in the intraday also. So beautiful move over here on AppLovin. If you're looking for levels, honestly, I'm just gonna say the level is one and only for me. It's the earnings anchored VWAP, but it's going to be a very choppy and slow move. I'd say it's going to be a very back and forth, a rangy move. So you're just gonna have to be patient for this one. Let the stock open, have its opening back and forth, pull back into VWAP, and then show you that it's bouncing off of today's VWAP or bouncing off of tomorrow's VWAP, at which point you can potentially join the dip buy activity. It might try to shake you out. Usually they always try to shake you out by breaking the low, so you got to be able to withstand that shake a little bit, and that means opening the risk a little bit wider. Take a less size and open the risk wider if you're interested in that. AppLovin, obviously, with the big move like today, I'm not expecting a bigger move tomorrow, but we've seen wilder things in the market at the moment, so watch what happens on this one. In my expectations, we move into today's high and then we reject around today's high. Maybe we break today's high a little bit, we go into 260 and then we reject around 260 and we pull back. I'm not expecting the stock to stay above 257.50 to 260 too much. Even if it does get above 260, I'm not expecting to close above 260. So potentially a short opportunity as it gets back below 260 to the downside tomorrow, if it does go there. If it doesn't go there, then potentially a dip buy opportunity as the stock goes into today's low. So basically watching today's range overall for an opportunity. So 228 to 260 is the range that I'm going to watch for the stock to play with. When you get my age, you don't really care and you just go along with the program. Exactly. John C., I'm not even at your age. I don't even know how old you are. But I'm thinking I'm younger than you. You know, but I'm already at that mindset, man. I'm like, just go with the flow. Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave, right? That's it. Go with the flow. IonQ, let's talk about going with the flow. IonQ, the crazy quantum computing company, going absolutely wild again, up 34% today. And here's a name that will get very juicy for a potential short opportunity very soon. I mean, look, the earnings report was monstrous, and the stock obviously used that as a catalyst. I shouldn't say monstrous, I guess. I honestly don't even remember what the report was. I remember reading it yesterday to you. I don't even remember what the report was, but man, 34% move is insane. I'm losing my mind as to what I want to look for. I want to look for IonQ's float and the short float. So IONQ, let's go here. Float is 187 million, 168 million, so anywhere from 168 to 187. Short float anywhere from 26%. Yeah, so 26% short float. Outstanding shares 202 million. So obviously going batshit crazy as the shorts are getting squoze at the moment. We just had a most recent high breach of 2150, and the stock managed to close above 2150. So the longer we stay up here, I think the crazier things can get. Right now, a dip buy opportunity into $20 might be priority number alpha priority 1 tomorrow. So you might want to have this stock at the highest priority tomorrow as a potential dip buy into 20. If we stay above 20, this stock could easily fly back into $23 and really squeeze to the north side. Today 2260 is the high, but let's yeah, I'm just gonna say 2250. Okay, fuck it, 2250 resistance, that's today's high. If we push back into this area after touching 20 and holding 20 successfully, you're gonna watch a stock going parabolic tomorrow. You could consider today as a day one move after this breakout. You could be watching something that's really stepping up for some crazy parabolic action. We almost traded half of the rotation. The rotation meaning flow. 70 million shares traded today. Flow is 180 million. If we just saw 180, 160 million. So about half the float's rotation came into play today. So more fun expected. This one just got put as an A+++++ priority. Either we hold 20 tomorrow or we don't hold 20 tomorrow and we got a monster pullback right back tomorrow. So watching how the stock behaves, big high priority name. Potentially right off the open, you're watching this stock off the bat. Off the bat, you're watching IonQ. SMCI, yeah, nice bounce on the whole sector here. I guess I shouldn't say the whole sector because Qualcomm getting a little bit of a green to red on a good earnings report. But SMCI, good bounce. I think I'm not really too interested on SMCI at the moment for a day trade. If it pops back into $30 potentially, I'll look for a short. But besides that, I'm not really looking to trade in the middle of the zone. It's either it pushes back into $20 or it pushes into $30. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient. The day trade setups are not really setting up for me on SMCI just yet. We had fun with SMCI so long. Give it some time, let it cool off. LUMN, potentially what you could see IonQ kind of setting up the same way, but this didn't really have the volume spike the way IonQ had. So LUMN could have a real volume spike like here, like bring in 300 million shares of volume and break out and really start running to the upside, burn some shorts of its own and get into crazy territory also. So watch this one, potentially taking out the $9.50, and if we get above 950 and stay above 950, I'm saying the stock is flying. So watch out for this one. But this is not like a garbage low floater. This has a lot of float, so this gonna need a lot of buying for this stock to actually fly. Wolf not too long ago had a good catalyst that took it back to the high side. And we actually marked that catalyst. It was in some sort of a news catalyst, either a CEO change or something. I can't remember what that news was. And they were holding above a solid high and doing well. But now with the earnings report, right back into the all-time low, right back into, sorry, not all-time low, right back into the 52-week low, and looks like they're gonna struggle a little bit. So maybe a dip buy SSR long opportunity of $8 or even off of $7. You can look for, I think we actually moved all the way back into, what was the after hour low here? After hour low of $8.24 is where we pushed into. If the stock does go into 7, I would much rather like that for a SSR long. But if it doesn't go into 7 and gives you an SSR long off of 8, I think that's still a viable spot to look for a long, but that's the only setup I'm interested for. Not interested for a short on Pops. There's way better names that we can short tomorrow. AirBNB, you know, potentially Affirm, Rivian, some of the other names that we already talked about. Pinterest, I think there's way better names to look for a short. There's also way better names to look for a long, in my opinion, but a very easy long that will give you a good tight risk to reward with high EV, high expected value, very low risk and high reward. So your reward is potentially 10, 15, 20, 30 cents, but your risk is less than 5 cents. So you're getting 3 times, 4 times, 5 times your risk to reward ratios, even 10, 20, 30 times sometimes on a trade like this. And it happens very quick, very quick scalp. You're in and you're out. It's not a whole day trade. So I'm more than happy to look for the setup if it sets up right off the open. If it sets up later on in the day, I'm not as interested for that one. Palantir looked like it was gonna get slammed down today at one point. I guess it got slammed down yesterday, or was it today? No, Palantir did get slammed down today. Yeah, Palantir was having a big yesterday's high reject, and it got slammed down, but then got bought right back up. The bullishness of the market really bought back Palantir right back into yesterday's high. So if the weakness around this 5650 area, the all-time high area is there, you could potentially look for a long, potentially look for a short. But right now, with the way the market's moving, you want to be careful trying to short the beauties, the loves, the favorites of the market. You want to be careful with that. Speaking about the favorites and the beauties and the love for the market, here's DJT, which is going in the opposite direction, I would say. DJT down 22% today, getting absolutely shit-faced, breaking previous lows and getting ready to potentially go much lower. I would say maybe, you know, Donnie is taking some profits over here on DJT, but he did say he's never selling. Also, DJT had some sort of a private equity Yorkville sale of a lot of shares recently for I can't remember for what reason. There wasn't really a reason given, so basically dilution for no reason, and maybe that's what's causing the little bit of a sell-off. Maybe they're selling themselves, who knows. So some activity over here, nevertheless. Lots of back and forth, lots of volatility, lots of craziness. People are making $2 million, $3 million on this name every single day, making me very jealous. I don't have the skill sets to do that yet, but I promise you I will one day. But DJT, boy oh boy, what a name, what an absolute name. Lyft got absolutely lifted to the north side today off of its earnings report. Potentially something to keep an eye on. See if today's low gets bought back for the dip buy opportunity. If today's low give up, then potentially a little bit of a short opportunity past today's low for a gap close after this big gap up on earnings report. So watching to see how Lyft sets up if it gets below 1750. Not a big high priority name, but I will color it as a high priority itself. In case a 770, actually no, I'll color it low priority because 1750, even if it does get there, I don't know if I really want to make the trade or not. UPST, if you can see, I had an alert on UPST for so long at $56.90. Looks like I can delete that alert now because that stock reported earnings and blasted off higher today. Shout out to Barkit for putting this name on our watch list. So big move to the upside. Let's go take a look at the earnings report. Here will be a name to watch for sure tomorrow, most likely. UPST third quarter reports are in. 7 cents per share, beating estimates of loss of 15 cents per share, making money. Okay, UPST 162.14 million, beating estimates of 150 million. Increase of okay, good increase of same period last year. Revenue increase of 14% year over year and 28% sequentially. 188,149 188 1000 wait 188 149 1,188, 400, 149. There you go. Loans were originated totaling. Did I get it? Oh, goddamn fly. Totaling to 1.6 billion across the platform in the third quarter of 2024, up 30% from the same period last year and 43% sequentially. Growth, growth, growth. For a growth company, that's exactly what you want to see. Conversion rates was 16.3%, up 9.5% from the same period last year, with 43%. They're just going to stroke themselves off with a little statement here. Upstart sees fourth quarter revenue of 180 million, net income loss of 35 million, and adjusted EBITDA of 5 million. Shares are up 14.48% and looks like they continue to stay up throughout the process. I love it. The after hour high of $69 to the dot. I love it. So let's see how UPSD comes into play tomorrow. You can see how choppy it was for the earnings anchored VWAP to go absolutely flat. So it looks like a little bit of a back and forth from $60 to $69, where we just had low volume and just a back and forth wiggle, back and forth wiggle. So the earnings anchored VWAP is 64, 65 area. You have the after hour high of 69, and you have this after hour little consolidation low of 60, and you can see how today's high around 57.27. You can just say 60 in my opinion. So that is the magic number for me. Either the stock stays above 60 on any dips, or it gets below 60, at which point maybe that report wasn't that bullish then, huh? But if you ask me, I can see the stock easily doing something like this in the pre-market itself and going absolutely batshit crazy. So UPST and IonQ, potentially the most high priority names tomorrow off the open, based on what I remember UPST being capable of doing. UPST with the ATR, I don't have its ATR mapped out yet because it was a new addition to the watch list. So let's go take a look at what UPST's ATR is. UPST ATR of $3.38. I'm expecting like a top to bottom range of $5 to $10 tomorrow on the stock. I mean, let's be real. It's got a $3.38 ATR. Let's just double that. Let's say $6 to $7 top to bottom range on UPST, and then let's see what kind of opportunity set up on that one in the pre-market. That will be a one to watch for sure. DXYZ. Remember this name? DXYZ getting active again. This name has been a well-known crazy squeezer previously. So DXYZ getting very active again. If you're interested to keep this one on watch, doesn't hurt. Volume also very good today. 12 million shares traded today, so doesn't hurt to keep a watch on this one. If this one gets very, very crazy, very, very active, you can make a lot of money very quickly, but you can also lose a lot of money very quickly. So you want to be careful, but for sure, got to keep this one on a watch when this one's going absolutely crazy. Dieter saying go up, go up. Where did you buy this one, Dieter? Where did you buy this one? You're not in the money on this? I was thinking about buying DXYZ in my personal account at $10, at $11, because I'm like, how low can the stock really go? I don't expect it to go below $8, $9. It's just gonna be possibly stuck around $8, $9 like a SPAC for a really long time. And then anytime SpaceX news or OpenAI news comes out, they might make a pop where you can sell and then reload into $10 and $11 and just keep rinsing and recycling this play. And boy, oh boy, did I miss out on this play also. Very, very bad as a swing trader and an investor, because hey, I've never done it, right? I've never done it. I just have all of these ideas that I never execute on. So this would have been a very easy opportunity, but missing out on this one. DXYZ making a beautiful pop at the moment. As a day trade though, let's watch and continue to keep this one on the watch list. Pets, a stock in the lower price area, going up to the north side. Big volume coming in off of its earnings reports and taking out a previous high. I only care about one play, a dip into $5 and staying. I guess I'll care about two plays. A dip into $5 and holding above 5. Okay, maybe I'll care about 3 plays. That's the last. I'm not going more than 3 plays. Okay, 3 setups. That's the only thing I care about. A dip into what the hell? No volume on the earnings in the pre-market at all. Awesome. That just makes even things better, way better. A dip into today's VWAP around 530 to 550 and blasting off from there, or a dip into $5, which is the previous consolidation high, and then showing support from there, or a hold above 6 and then blasting off above 6. Besides that, I don't really care about what the stock does at all. So keeping it a very small eye on this one, because the list for tomorrow is insane. The list for tomorrow is absolutely insane. MSTR. You know, Coinbase, Bitcoin, these names are all going insane at the moment. Bitcoin at all-time highs, so obviously MSTR on watch, IBIT on watch, Coinbase on watch. Watching to see how Bitcoin reacts. If Coinbase gets above 260, that one's something that you can't miss out on. We actually got into 259.69 and then we sold off $5 to the downside. Oh my god, don't tell me I missed that short. Oh, that was such a good short on Coinbase. 259.69 and you get about, what is that, all the way to 253 on Coinbase. That's such a juicy short, man. Oh my god. Okay, watching this one tomorrow for sure. Gonna set an alert here actually into 259 on Coinbase, so I'll be ready to see when that opportunity sets up. Tesla 300. That one's very important. That's a big level on Tesla. Make sure you have an alert into 300. If you don't, you're gonna miss out on that one. Either we break 300 and we blast off drastically, or we keep rejecting 300 and it sets up for some easy money short scalps on Tesla. I got some easy money short scalps on Tesla today from that 300 area. So just watching what happens, just watching patiently. Yeah, either we get above 300 with this extremely bullish market that we have, or we stay below 300. Google, I'd say Google is rallying a little bit too fast to the north side at the moment, potentially giving you a short opportunity off of this $182, reject above 182, potentially a fail break of 182. I can see a good short opportunity setting up from there, especially if the market looks weak in the next day or two. I guess Saturday is not really a day that we care about. Tomorrow, Friday, if the market looks weak tomorrow after having a little bit of an insane rally to the upside, and tomorrow sets up to be a free fall Friday, then Google, if it sets up to give you an opportunity to short into 180, then you know, I think that's a very easy short over there. Meta making a move towards all-time high. I don't care about what it does before it gets there. So $603 on Meta. You can say 600 on watch, but I'm only gonna keep an eye on it into $603. Either it does something into 603, or I don't care about what it does. JP Morgan had a pretty big red day today, but that was the overall XLF sector, I guess. XLF sector had a decently same equivalent red day candle on itself. JP Morgan still holding above the yesterday's low, however. So as long as we stay above 235/234.70 area on JP Morgan, I think you can continue looking long. But the second we get below it and start seeing some weakness over there, I think we got a very easy gap close opportunity on JP Morgan here to keep an eye on. So JP Morgan giving us a good gap close opportunity. And now, last but not least, John Wan saying, great show, Prad, hope to see you next time. Yes sir, I'll let you know if I'm streaming again or never again. Obviously I think I'll stream for the rest of the month. I don't know, my mind is pretty confused as to what I want to do with this channel, but I will obviously keep you guys up to date. I think you will see me Monday. All right, QQQ breaking out to the upside at the moment. Pretty good breakout to the upside, obviously, with the overall market, with Donnie Trump helping the market rally every single day. FOMC helping the market rally today. More fun on the market with the FOMC juice. More fun on the market from Papa Powell being bullish on the 230 comments area also. So all things looking good. I'm not really seeing any reason to be overly bearish on the market at the moment, but you know, it takes me no problem to be overly bearish on the market. But I don't see a reason to be overly bearish on the market at the moment. Just follow the trend, follow the money, follow the cash flow. If the money on the market is saying we're going to continue going higher, very easy. If we're holding above today's high and we're continuing to stay above today's high on QQQ, there might be another green day on the market, right? If we're rejecting around today's high and then we're struggling to stay above today's high, there might not be a green day on the market. So pretty simple opportunity over there setting up. You just have to make a read around this 514 area on the QQQ. You can maybe even extend that area to a little bit higher for just the variance. So 514.50 to 515 or so. As long as QQQ cannot get above 515, I would say there's just no more longs on QQQ. But if it gets above 515, I think that actually matches perfectly with the NQ futures all-time high break, apparently, because this is not this is the continuous chart, and it's not the adjusted chart for the all-time high. I mean, is this the current fucking chart? Okay, there you go. I guess this is the current chart. So that's the continuous futures chart. This is the rolled chart, right? So this is a chart that gets forwarded after all the contracts get rolled and everything. And based on that, the futures actually had a perfect all-time high reject on the Nasdaq today. I guess I shouldn't say reject, but they didn't really break out of all-time high on the Nasdaq futures. Yes, the QQQ ETF is at an all-time high, but the Nasdaq futures are just getting into the all-time high territory. So if the futures get higher and stay above here, I think that kind of relates into the same idea as QQQ, the ETF staying above 515. So as long as the QQQ, the ETF stays above 515, I think there's no more shorts at that point. But if we can't stay above 515 tomorrow and we're finding a little bit of a barrier into 515 to 514.50, then I think there's an opportunity to look for a short over here across the board on the market. Maybe a free fall Friday sets up for your boy, and I'll be very happy with looking for a trade at that point. Some things that you can also keep an eye on is the anchored VWAP from 2 o'clock and the anchored VWAP from maybe even 2:30. You could have one from 2:30, the one from 2 o'clock for FOMC, which actually did absolutely nothing, and the one from 2 o'clock, which where 2:30, where Powell actually showed up and started talking to the market and so on. So you could have those two anchored VWAPs over there if you're interested for some sort of a judgment as how the buyers and sellers are reacting day 2 after FOMC. Maybe day 2 after FOMC is complete sell the FOMC event, which we've seen happen sometimes. They sell it completely, and that, for me, in my opinion, will be a break above today's high, going into 515, trapping some longs into 515, and then rug pulling all of those longs after 515 and really selling to the downside tomorrow on the QQQ. That is a pretty good setup that I can imagine taking place also. And that is basically all she wrote for tomorrow's watch list. I think we have a lot of names with high priority marked up on my watch list tomorrow. So a lot of names to keep an eye on. Obviously, I'm going to be very busy with these names. I mean, if I even am able to get to work tomorrow. I had a stupid strike today, so I wasn't even able to get to work properly. I had to come back home, and you know, it was so annoying. It was so annoying. So hopefully I can find my route to work tomorrow, because tomorrow looks very, very important and very, very fun on the market. We have some names in the pre-market reporting, but I don't really care about any of these names. Just at a quick glance for you guys if you care about them. CGC, Sony, NRG, bunch of names over here reporting in the after hours, but not any that I really am going to care to trade at all. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is today's stream. Ooh, let me show you actually the econ calendar. Nothing on the economic calendar with 3-star events, so maybe nothing to make the market really shake up a bit. We do have Michigan numbers. I've seen the Michigan numbers move the market sometimes, but they haven't really moved the market recently. So unless the Michigan numbers come out drastically as a big surprise, I don't think these will move the market either. So maybe really nothing over here for the economic calendar for us. We do do have Fed member Bowman at 11 o'clock giving his comments. That could potentially move the market a little bit, so keep an eye out around 11 o'clock. But that is a pretty boring econ calendar. Let's go to the IPO calendar, see if anything juicy is popping up on the IPO calendar. Oh, come on, Acquisition Corporation. That's an Acquisition Corporation. Looks like this stock actually IPO'd today, yeah, missed out on that one. Aduro Clean Technologies Inc. ADUR. How did you trade today, ADUR? What the hell? The stock has existed for such a long period. It did not IPO today. What? Okay, it did IPO today. Maybe it relisted today, or maybe all of these charts that we're seeing are actually a very old company with a different name, had the same ticker, and then it just IPO'd today and it did absolutely nothing. So boring name, don't really care about that, and we don't really have any other IPOs that we care about anyway. So that's that. Yeah. Well, I guess time for me to say goodbye, sadly, for the week, and I'll see you guys Monday. Make sure you check out all my links over here on Linktree. Angry Buddha's in the house. What's up, Angry Buddha? How you doing, brother? Pretty late, but I appreciate you showing up. Sadly, we're calling it for the day. Check out my affiliate sponsors, Flash Research. They're actually adding a ton of new components to their back testing platform and so on. Where did it go? Post is unavailable. What the they deleted their post. Flash Research, what the fuck? Deleted the post. Anyways, the post was basically talking about a bunch of new additions that they're making to their platform. So obviously lots of new additions coming in on Flash Research. Go check them out. Trade Ideas, obviously, you know Trade Ideas. If you don't know Trade Ideas, then you're probably not a trader, period. TraderSync, track your trading performance. It's a journal. I track my performance every single day, tag my trades and so on. So TraderSync will help you with all that. And last but not least, Benzinga. You see me using Benzinga every single day to read earnings reports. But not only that, you can use it to chart, to scan, to alerts, to news. They even have a chat room in there that you can chat with professional traders. So if you want to have a chat room to bounce ideas off of, all kinds of fun stuff, all in that move in Benzinga. So go check them out. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, and all of my social media links are up here. I will see you guys Monday, I hope. Yeah, you know what, I'll go live all the next week too, and then I will decide if I want to move into offline content only, or if I want to move to offline and online content both at the same damn time. So I'll keep you guys up to date. I'll see you guys all next week. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. Have a great market day tomorrow. Slam the market. This opportunities at the moment have been so juicy. Markets have been going wild. Stocks have been going absolutely nuts. We got so many stocks moving right now. IONQ, UPST, Square. I guess I shouldn't say Square, but IONQ, UPST. I'm gonna quickly put the highest priority names for myself higher. That way I know which one to keep an eye on right off the bat tomorrow. IONQ, UPST, which one was the other one? Potentially LUMN to keep an eye on. Coinbase 260, I want to keep an eye on that. Tesla 300, we want to watch that. Nvidia 150, we want to watch that one. JP Morgan, we want to watch that bad boy. QQQ, potentially want to keep an eye on that one too. The rest of these names can stay where they are because they are priority, because you can see there's blue and oranges here, but the ones at the top are the highest priority. So maybe I should give these ones a different color. Color these ones all right, we're gonna color them pink or purple. To color them purple, that way we know These are some of the more important stocks for tomorrow, and the most high priority for maybe right off the open or right off the alerts that when they trigger, then we got to make a decision off of these names for sure. But the rest of them, it's more need for a setup around the prices that we have set up. We need for like a 5-minute pattern, need for an actual gameplay around the prices that's set up. But all of these ones, as soon as these prices trigger, there's some decisions to potentially be made, and you're not gonna have a lot of time to make a decision when those prices trigger. So I'm gonna be very, very careful to see what happens around those names. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all she wrote. I wish you guys a banger Friday. Let's see if we get a free fall Friday or not. Have a great weekend, and Monday, hopefully I'll see you at 8 o'clock. TraderPrad out. Adios. Good night.
Trade off of, get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.